Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you're not a part of our backstage, you don't know what you're missing out. Join the backstage. We were having this conversation. I was having this conversation with my film girl in the backstage. This Apostle Iren, I think it's called Apostle Iren, right? I'm not sure. Iren, I don't know. Apostle. It's one of the youngest pastors in Nigeria, well celebrated. I don't know much about him, but we're going to review this video. I have this video we're gonna play together. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe, and turn up your notifications. Let's jump into the video. Let's hear what he has to say, and then let's assess it together.
To get married to, except at least you have a fair idea of these things.
Let's refresh that. Let's refresh it.
Decide who to get married to, except at least you have a fair idea of these things. Number one, are your parents together? And if they're not together, I can check your life, check your decisions, check if you have healed from the trauma, and we can move on. But at least let me know what we are handling. Let me tell you something. Somebody who grew up used to his parents not being there, that person will be dysfunctional in the way the person loves. The person will not even know. When you see someone who says, I don't like my wife always being around, always loving me too much, do you know there are some people who can't handle that? They can't hold your hand for too long. They can't hug for too long. It's called avoidant attachment. It's a dysfunction. You are so used to love not being there. It's a coping mechanism, and there has to be a deliberate recovery for it. It's been proven scientifically that if you had a dysfunctional way to respond to love, it can be repaired with better relationships. It will only be a matter of time. When you get friendships, when you get used to people, haven't you seen people that you cared for, you wanted to help them, but they were running away? That's why some people that you are committed to, you want to help them, they're not used to receiving help. They don't even understand why. It is because of how they grew up. Have you seen people who you can never persuade you love? Always insecure. That also is a dysfunction. General, what I'm here to tell you is this. The parents, how they handle themselves, has more impact on the person you want to choose than you realize.
All right. I want to address that one at a time.
Don't decide who to get married to, except at least you have a fair idea of these things. Number
one, don't decide to marry a person unless you have a fair idea of these things. He said a couple of things in that video, so let's address it together. All right, my title says raised by a single mom. He actually said, this is what he said.
One, are your parents together?
What he said is that, are your parents together? The person that you're marrying, ask no if their parents are together, right? A lot of people will not listen to anything else beyond that point. That's the reality. A lot of people will not listen to anything else beyond that point. Okay, this video apparently was on Instagram. Okay, I will see if I can get into some of the comments. Okay, all right. So a lot of people, if you come from a broken home, or you came from a home that your father and your mother were not together, you probably got triggered by that. You don't have to admit that you're triggered. It's okay. But that probably made you feel some type of way. That's what I meant to say. Made you feel some type of way, right?
And if they're not together, I can check your life, check your decisions, check if you have healed from the trauma, and we can move on.
Okay, so he's saying, hey, if you're not, I just need to know. But if I can check all these other things, and then, you know, if all is well, we'll move on. To be fair to him, that's what he said. You know, but Film Girl and I were talking about this behind the scenes, and I thought it would be an interesting topic to bring to here. Do you think, let me ask you before I continue, do you think anybody coming from a broken home will tend to struggle in romantic relationships? That's really the question, you know, that I want to get out of you. I want to get the answer out of you. What do you think personally?
But at least let me know what we are handling.
He said, at
let
least
me tell
let me
you
know.
something. Somebody who grew up used to his parents not being there.
Somebody who grew up to their parents not be there. Think about it as abandonment. Okay, is it always true? Not always true, but is that a tendency? Yes, that's why it's called a tendency, right? Like I said, there are multiple different factors. If you start to worry about all these different factors, sometimes you'll be paralyzed by the analysis, right? So, and that's one of the problems that I see out here. Too much information overload is what I think is worrying a lot of people in the modern dating scene. But Ola, you've been out of the game. How do you know? I know, trust me. Yeah, argue with me that you don't have information overload. But yeah, argue now. You can't argue with that one now. It's not only you, by the way, that's dealing with, again, a lot of these issues in marriage and dating relationship. It's not just limited to marriage, dating, and relationship. It's life issues. We all have to, in business, me as I did right now, my major demon is information overload. Too much information. Just too much. And what does that look like in real life? It looks like distractions. And they're shiny. We call them the shiny object syndrome. There's always something that seems better. There's the grass is always greener on the other side syndrome. You think you always think it's about your prick and your kwekus all the time. These are life issues. When I'm telling you, I'm speaking to you, like these are holistic life issues that you need to learn. It will help you in your relationships, of course. So it's not you've been out of the game. You don't understand. Let's listen more.
That person will be dysfunctional in the way the person loves. The person will not even know. When you see someone who says, I don't like my wife always being around, always loving me too much. Do you know there are some people who can't handle that?
Well, so that issue, the first thing that comes to mind for me is somebody who's see finish. You know, they're starting to take each other for granted. It's going to happen in every marriage. At some point, it might happen in different ways. It might not be I don't like to be around my wife, or it shows up in different ways. Maybe you're just annoyed. Maybe you don't want to admit you're annoyed, but something is off. You feel some type of way, and you need some space. You need your man cave. You need to have your own little corner in the house. You need to hang out with your girls so you can breathe. All these things will show up in different ways, but we zone in on that one way of saying it. I don't like my wife being, and then it becomes a big issue. I tell you, don't worry about this kind of things. You will suffocate yourself. Okay, so he's already told us about 3 things so far, by the way, but 3 in 1, because he's talking about the deeper issues. What he's talking about is the deeper traumas, maybe childhood trauma that people bring to the table, and it's not wrong about that. He's just making a specific example now.
They can't hold your hand for too long. They can't hug for too long. It's called avoidant attachment. It's a dysfunction. You are so used to love not being there. It's a coping mechanism, and there has to be a deliberate recovery for it. It's been proven scientifically that if you had a dysfunctional way to respond to love, it can be repaired with better relationships.
All right, so he's just trying to tell you, like, hey, that was just that one thing. Of course, you should know where a person is coming from. There's many other things you need to know about where a person is coming from. If their parents were married, single, but I wouldn't advise anybody to make a big deal out of a person coming from a broken home. Just deal with the person you're dealing with, and if you see some signs, some symptoms of dysfunction, then you handle it as they come. The last thing you ever want to do is accuse your partner, because usually by the time you're having this conversation, it's already too late. Many of you are asking this question when you're already collecting, when you're already falling mistakenly inside of Kwekus, when it's already too late. You're deceiving yourself. You know you're going to justify the bullshit, and you're justifying bullshit already. You should know where a person is coming from. That's a given. Okay, the last thing you ever want to do, a lot of you do this, a lot of you that are married already do this. They say, it's the way they were raised. You make it a point because of the way a person was raised. Why is that your business? What about what you're dealing with in front of you that you're already in too deep? What about your dysfunction that made you attract that person in the first place? You're not going to talk about that. No, you won't. Let me read the top comment here. Somebody said, I come from a broken home. Trust me, I'm not this way. I love to show and give love. I have experienced the pit firsthand. No one else has to experience. No one else has to experience it through me anymore. Love is what keeps me going. That I get to give the love I never experienced. See how everybody react to trauma is different from people to people, and that's one thing that's very, very dangerous about the generalized point of views. That's why you can't generalize that people come from a broken home, it must mean anything. No. To me, actually, you should mind your business. You fell for that person. What is it that you enjoy the most about that person? You probably should be busy celebrating that. And if you find yourself that whatever that you don't enjoy about them is what rises to because the cream always rises to the top. You find yourself highlighting that the most, then there's an issue that needs to be addressed. But there's a way, he's right about, there's a way to address it. Okay, there's a way to address it without calling out the person's background or looking for the easiest out or making yourself feel better because you were raised by a two-parent household. Okay, I give this example all the time. Me being raised by a two-parent household had aspects in my relationship where it became a negative. I'll leave you guys with that. Anyway, let me leave you with a question real quick. Do you think if a person comes from a broken home, then they suddenly have a chance, extremely high chance? I don't know how you want to. What's your thoughts about that? Leave your comments below. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I drop videos at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, that's my schedule. So make sure you're subscribed so you're not missing out on anything. Okay, and I want to know your thoughts. I want to learn from you as well. I'll be right back.
Beautiful girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.